Hello. How are you guys? Wonderful ना ठीक है. So normally ना the thing is मैं बहुत sad stories बहुत मतलब हाँ I'm not going to say depressed wherever you are Kshitija, but I am the person who writes a lot of like very sad stories. So आज I have gone 180. I have like आज sad story नहीं लिखेंगे. Let's write something that's a bit happy. So the thing is right. Before this confident and very funny version of Roshith that you all know and love existed, there used to be this short, chubby little boy. And now the thing is, this guy was a front bencher, but not your average front bencher. He didn't talk in class, he didn't answer questions. He was super shy, kept to himself, and was a very big introvert. And well, if he saw me on stage right now, he would probably have a heart attack. But why? Let's take you back. Years and years ago, probably around 8th or ninth grade, a group of teachers came into his class and they asked who has topped the English exam. Now listen, मैं Shakespeare नहीं हूँ, but थोड़ा academic overconfidence तो था. So I'm like, ma'am. A few minutes later, a few of us were taken into an empty room and told, here's a sheet of paper, here's a topic, you have 10 minutes, write something and you'll give a speech about it. I'm like, damn. Now listen. Giving a speech, not a big deal. But to that version of Roshith, this was nothing short of capital punishment. The moment he heard those words, you have to give a speech, he panicked. He literally just stared onto the piece of paper that was given in front of him. And for 10 minutes, he wrote not a word. He was called onto the front of the class, the entire class watching him, and he froze. For 3 minutes, he was just standing there like this. Eventually, the teacher had pity on me and she let me go, realizing that this dumb idiot cannot do anything. But I am here today, so something must have changed. The credit to that goes to my classes. Now the thing is, back in 10th grade, I used to go to these classes and every Sunday they used to have an exam. And I used to desperately wait for the results of those exams. Now why? Was I some sort of model student who cared about his marks? Nope. The thing is, right, the top 5 had their names written on the top of the board. Again, Roshith, do you really care so much about thoda sa appreciation that you want to be in the top 5 just because of that? Nope. The thing is, right, the top 5 got paid. And say whatever you want, paisa hota hai. That's all I cared about. One Sunday, when we were writing the exams, our sir just walked up to the front of the class, stood up and told कि whoever has been in the top 5 before, wait after class. Now, मैं बहुत खुश हो गया. We thought we were getting some extra motivation, but then came the news. For Teachers' Day, you'll give a 5-minute lecture to your juniors. Wow, something that happened a year ago that was so traumatic will happen again. Anyways, Teachers' Day came up. I was sat in the back of the class and I was watching the other students who were doing the same give lectures about English, math, science and such complex problems, and I thought, damn, I chose the wrong subject. Anyways, I was called up to the front of the stage, given a marker, the whiteboard behind me, about 60 or 70 pairs of eyes staring at me, and something just clicked. I stood there and gave a 15-minute lecture on the United Nations. I chose Civics, which is probably the most boring subject anyone wants to listen to. But yeah, I didn't know what I did, but I walked out there and I didn't realize how much that would change. Anyways, a couple of days later, I went back to the classes and I saw my name at the top of the board. Now instinctively my mind went back to last Sunday. अरे यार पेपर तो easy नहीं था. I definitely didn't score the most marks. How am I first? But I didn't have the answers, so I just sat there. Minutes later, my sir came to the front of the class and addressed the obvious elephant in the room. Apparently, the juniors had to vote for who they thought the best professor was. And spoiler alert, they chose me. Anyways, after that day, I started stepping into this limelight a bit more. I started taking steps that I usually wouldn't. And if things had usually gone their way, I wouldn't even be standing here. But here I am. Thank you.